Greetings, everyone. This is the revival of the SK one-on-one series, and right now we're with Danish Johnson, also known as Svenskeren, SK starting jungler. Hello, Sven. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
We'll go way back into Season 2. So there's this interesting story that was brought up recently on a Reflections interview. And it revealed that during Ocelot's reign in SK, you were trialing for the team together with Reckless. Can you give us a bit more details into that? Why didn't the move?
I think Ocelot and Aranea was good friends back then, so it kind of made sense that they chose Aranea. And I was still in school, and my parents didn't really want me to play back then, so I'm kind of happy that they didn't choose to go with me, because there would have been so many problems.
You were trialing out with another star player, Reckless. So were there any indications at the moment that he would be the star he is today?
Kinda, I guess. I knew he was really good back then, because we went to an event. Oh, that was after, actually. We went to MLG Summer Arena or something together, and he was really good. So yeah, kinda, I guess.
Was that with Team Black?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bringing you back now into the future. So you formed with Fredy, you formed Superhawk Crew. So what is your relationship with Fredy inside and outside of the game? Because you've stuck together for a long time.
Yeah. Me and Fredy are pretty close friends, I would say. Probably my best friend in esports right now. So yeah.
So how did the forming of Superhawk Crew came in? So.
How Superhawk Crew started, or what?
Yes.
Basically, I was playing with Hadel and Moobs and stuff, and then Mima left to join NIP, and then we needed a top laner, and we were I played with Fredy a bit before that, when I left NIP with Godbro, and then we were we need a top laner, and we knew Fredy was really good, so we actually got one of Freddy's friends to call Fredy, because he was on holiday in Spain, and we called him Fredy, we need to play, you need to top lane in our team, and they're okay. That's how it started.
When you were presented with the offer to join SK in 2014, what did you think of the squad on paper?
I thought I didn't think we were that good, actually. Yeah, that's kind of it.
So kind of in lines with the community reactions of,
yeah,
well, not that good of a team on.
In the start, we even joked about we didn't think we were gonna do good in the first weeks of LCS, so we played to start on top and stuff like that.
So was your style, because you immediately started playing as this objective-based team, so was that the plan from the beginning, or it just evolved into that?
I guess it just evolved into that. Since nothing really worked out in the start, then people just changed their play styles to try and fit the team.
So describe me the spring split through your lens. How did an aggressive player such as yourself adapt to Jesiz, who's more known as a defensive mid laner? He's not an Expeke, he's not an Alex Sitch.
Yeah. I just tried to jungle like the team needed. That's all. The team needed to see the enemy jungler, and I would just try to find the enemy jungler, and then if they could pressure the lanes like that, and we would win off that, then I would do that.
Many consider your mid lane interventions as the winning formula for SK mid lane, and from then on the game itself. Do you agree that you were one of the, if not the main component of the winning formula?
Me?
Yes.
I would say Fredy was more winning formula or whatever.
In what sense?
In always going even or winning his lane. So it was always could rely on top lane winning or whatever.
Okay. Considering you went toe-to-toe with Shook, and then you beat Jankos for the third place and the world spot, could there be a case for you as the best jungler of 2014 in Europe?
There could be a case, but I don't really think so. I think me and Shook were pretty even, and I don't know, Jankos made other junglers seem a lot weaker. He was punishing a lot of other junglers a lot harder, but somehow every time we met, it was he didn't do what he would do against other people. So he was scared or whatever.
What was your reaction when you understood the punishment of Worlds?
My reaction was, I was really sad, because I knew I let everyone down, and we probably would make out of groups now. Even though we had a small chance, if the team could win with one game with Gilius, we but still it was like so small. So like I knew I let everyone down, so I was kind of sad.
Describe to me your evolution as a player once Season 5 hit. You added Forgiven and Fox, and now it's like Svenskeren unleashed. You don't have to be anchored to mid lane anymore. What is your evolution as a player in that sense? Like what can you do now which you couldn't do before?
I guess I have more breathing room now, like I'm not forced to make plays and stuff like that. Before you knew per se, like if me or Fredy was like behind, then the game would be like really easily lost. But now it's like, if I'm like behind or whatever, like I knew like, okay, bot lane can still carry and stuff like that.
How did the trial process with Fox go? How was he chosen to be SK's new mid laner, given the jungle mid relationship and so on? Did you have any say in it?
I guess I had a lot of say in it. I would say like probably most say in it, because the other people were kind of insecure in picking Fox. Because when we tried him out, he was like really not talking or anything, like kind of shy. But since I was like duo queuing with him a lot, like I could see that he had like a lot of potential.
Do you sometimes assume the secondary carry role after Forgiven? For example, the Nidalee game against H2K, when you completely wrecked Lulix in the jungle, and then just single-handedly carried the team.
No, I don't think so. I think after Forgiven, it's probably Fox or Fredy who carries most of games. So right now, I'm just trying to be a frontline or whatever. And as the Nidalee game is like, Nidalee is so broken that yeah, you can carry 1v9. So.
And Rated is considered the mastermind behind the team by many and the community in general. Has his shot calling or strategic input changed after the additions of Forgiven and Fox?
I'm not sure if it's changed. I don't think it's changed. No.
Many analysts and coaches state that SK's lack of vision control and warding is their main issue. What do you think on the matter?
I think it's one of our weaknesses, but we're working on that.
You had awesome games up until the game versus Fnatic. And for some reason you kind of dropped the ball there. Like, what happened from your point of view?
We didn't get enough practice before that, going into the Fnatic game, I would say. Like, we were not prepared enough.
In general, if you do really well in the early game and put enough pressure, then the whole team does well. So do you think you're the dynamo behind SK's success?
I would say that's probably every jungler's role. If a jungler does well early, he can snowball it into getting leads on the lanes. So I don't think it's just me, it's like every jungler's role to do that.
ALCS now has 10 teams, so fresh blood's coming in. Which jungler surprised you coming into the first couple of weeks of the LCS?
I would say Ho and Reno was. I wouldn't think, like in the start I didn't think they were going to be that good, but I think they're like one of the best now.
So it's time to discuss the opposition. First of all, your main rival, Jankos. How did you manage to fall from the best jungler in Europe to relatively average level now with Rocket's lack of success?
I don't know why Rocket is doing so bad. They're like really good in scrims, but then on stage they're like scared. They don't play the same as they would in scrims. That's like their main weakness, I would say.
We move on to Shook, who's still rather inconsistent, and not many people are convinced by his performance. What do you think?
Shook is probably just scared to make plays if his lanes are losing, I would say. So if his lanes are winning, then he would like carry the game sometimes. But if his lanes are losing, I would say like he probably doesn't want to like be blamed or whatever. I don't know, something like that.
Last but not least, the star in Europe at the moment, Rainover. What makes Rainover so good?
I think Rainover is just really smart. Like I write to him a lot about like what to do in the jungle and stuff like that, and he always like comes up with something new, and he's just really smart.
Okay. Do you watch LCK or LPL? Any Eastern games?
No, not really.
Okay, last question. Construct the best European team with you as a jungler. And you can't choose players from SK. And you need to leave mid for last. Give me a top laner.
Me. Huni. Me, Huni, Yellow Star, Reckless.
And now you have to choose between Froggen or Bjergsen.
Bjergsen.
Why?
Because Bjergsen is more likely to carry the game 1v9.
Thank you very much for the interview, Sven. Last words are yours.
Thank you for having me for this interview, and thanks to all the sponsors and thanks to all the fans.